Hello, I'm Patrick Magee, sports writer for the Sun Herald.
Patrick Ochs, sports writer for the Sun Herald, the Sports Guys South State edition.
We're talking about Friday night's big playoff games. I'll be talking about Resurrection Lumberton.
And I'll kick things off talking about St. Stanislaus visiting Lawrence County. Another big win for the Ochs last week. You know, it's funny we talk about their offense so much, but really last week the defense got it done at Moss Point. They had 9 tackles for loss at halftime. You know, really impressive shutout Moss Point, which has scored a lot of points. They scored, 61, 62 points the week before. So it's good to see their defense has progressed every week. Guys like Mitchell Walk, Tommy Reuter, and Mason Favre have really stepped up, kind of lead a new group of guys. You know, they graduated 3 college linemen last year coming into this season. So they kind of had to find some new leaders. Those guys have stepped up. You look at Lawrence County this week, you know, unfortunately for the Ochs, third week they're going to be on the road. The scheduling just didn't do them any favors considering they were region champions. But you look at Lawrence County and they've got a quarterback who's a dual threat guy, passed for 1,200, rushed for 800. Then they've got a running back, one of the better ones in the state, rushed for 26 touchdowns, top 10 in the state. I think if the Ochs can kind of limit them, and they're athletic enough that they can do it, they can get some penetration, and they have good linebackers and safeties that can come up to the line. I think if they can limit those 2 guys, they'll have a chance. Any week you have Miles Brennan throwing the ball, you're going to be okay. You know, I think they go on the road, and I think they get a 14-point win and go back to Class 4A championship, and who knows, maybe a rematch against Knoxville County.
Yeah, Resurrection's hosting Lumberton, a game these 2 teams played last month in Lumberton, and Resurrection won 25-8. Lumberton is the only team that scored on Resurrection in the last 8 games. That's a span of 10 weeks, so 2.5 months they've only given up 8 points. That's pretty good defense for Resurrection. Renzel Johnson has got 130-something tackles, 19 sacks. He's really been a dominant defensive end, but they've really got players all over that defense. Steve Demetropoulos, Michael Gatchett at safety, Lancaster at defensive tackle. It's really just a well-rounded defense. Offensively, they can just kind of grind it out. They've got 3 or 4 pretty good running backs, Dylan Jolly and Patrick Watts among that group. This is a game where Resurrection is going to go in a heavy favorite. I mean, it's going to be in Pascagoula at War Memorial Stadium. It's hard to see Resurrection stopping at this point because they've really handled 1A competition. They got some early challenges in the season against 4A, 3A competition, but once they really got into the 1A slate of the schedule, they just rolled right through the region. Last week against Stringer, it was another dominant victory, so it's hard to see Resurrection tripping up at this point. Resurrection probably pitches another shutout, but Lumberton's pretty, talented team. They've got athletes on offense. Dalen Burks, the running backs, rushed for 2,700 yards this season. He had 120 against Resurrection earlier this season. Probably the best athlete, maybe the best athlete Resurrection's faced all season. But, maybe Lumberton gets in the end zone, something like that this game. But I still see Lumberton maybe winning like 31-7, something along those lines. We appreciate you watching this week, and hopefully we'll be talking about some state championship games next week.